Every sales team I talk to always has that one system or process that they say is their single source of truth, but it never quite matches what's in their CRM. Sound familiar? Think about your current sales process for just a minute here. You know, that one rep who always has this really specific way of qualifying leads. Then of course you have people that will say there is only one way to send proposals. And when it comes to forecasting, well, let's just say there's a whole lot of guesswork involved. Not only is this causing headaches with managers and leaders, but it's making it really difficult to track accurate data and have accurate processes for your teams to follow. But don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to bring some consistency to your sales processes without making things feel too rigid or too bureaucratic. We'll cover customizing your pipeline, setting up smart automations, and creating playbooks your teams will actually use. I'm Alex, and this is How to HubSpot. By the way, you can follow along by hitting the link in the description below. Let's start by getting your pipeline set up the right way to match your sales process. So what I'll do here is open up HubSpot, and I will click on this settings icon right here. It's this little gear in the top right. From there, I will click Objects on the left sidebar, scroll down a bit and hit Deals. And then finally over here, I will hit the Pipelines tab. Now this is where the magic happens and where I can make all of the customizations I need to make HubSpot match my sales process. So if I wanna maybe create a new pipeline here and start fresh, I can hit Create a Pipeline under the Select a Pipeline option. Or if I wanna customize an existing pipeline, I will just select that pipeline here. Now, let me show you 3 key features that really help make your deals process as customized as possible and work for your sales team. So first thing we're gonna do is customize our deal stages. Let's click Add Stage. But before we do that, let's think about our current sales processes. What are the different stages that my team needs? Do I have a qualification stage? Do I have a discovery stage? Do I have a certain amount of time I want a deal setting in a research stage? All of that can be reflected here. So what I'll do is I will come in and I will really recommend starting with key stages like qualified, proposal sent, and negotiation. But here's where you can really make things customizable. You can go in and control the probability of each deal sitting in those stages. So let's set some close probabilities. Click on the probability drop down here next to a stage and let's give it a number. What this is gonna do is make our forecasting way more accurate. Now, let's set up some required fields. Let's click on Edit Properties next to any stage, and this is really crucial information. Think about what you need your sales reps to put in your CRM as they're progressing deals through these different stages. Maybe when a deal is getting further down the pipeline, they need to have key buyer information, maybe they need to have a deal amount, but whatever they need, this is where you can control what information they have to put in. Little pro tip I have is to only ask for that really required and important information. That way, it's easy for your teams to quickly progress deals and you get the information you need. So let's make sure that's set up. So let's not go crazy here. What we'll do is we will just go ahead and add 1 and make sure what we do focuses only on that must-have information. Finally, let's set up some deal approvals. Let's click on the Pipeline Rules tab here and toggle on where it says Add Approval Process for Deals. Now what this is gonna do is for those deals where maybe you want a second set of eyes on them, maybe you want to have a manager take a look, this is where you can control when an approval is required in order to progress a deal. It's super helpful for some of those large or high risk deals. So what I'll do is I will set up to 3 approvers here, and I can even see that I can customize the approval stage, the name, and the position in my pipeline, making it really easy to make sure that the right people see the right deals at the right time. Now that your pipeline's all set up, let's save you some time and make it do the work for you and automate a couple things. If we come in here to these settings, let's click on the Automate tab in your pipeline settings. Trust me, this is where you can go in and really set up some time-saving automations to make your processes work for you. First, let's set up some basic automation that everyone needs. See these little plus icons next to any of the stages here? By clicking those, you'll be able to add an automation and an action. So for example, when a deal moves to proposal sent, you can automatically come in here and create a follow-up task for 3 days later. So if we click into here, let's set up all the information and click Create Task. And once we've done that, There'll be no more forgetting to follow up. And after every deal's in this stage, that automation will run automatically. Here's my favorite automation though. When a deal moves to close one, we can create a task for, let's say, our customer success team and our account manager so they get a notification that, hey, there's a new deal that's closing. What I like to do is come in here to the automations and create a task for our customer success team. And in addition to that, I'll send an internal email to make sure that those team members get the notification that that deal is closed and they're ready for outreach. I can set all of this up automatically, which is really easy. Here's one pro tip. We're inside of the deal pipeline right now, making some customizations, but there's a lot we can do with workflows to really make sure some of our deal stages and deal creations are automated. Let me show you how you could get that started. We'll come over here out of this menu and we will click on automation and workflows here in the main navigation. Once we do this, we can click on create a new workflow and we can set something up to trigger on deal stages. From here, you can do things like update the deal priority, update the deal status, maybe even change some of the forecasting and create new tasks based on deal amount ranges. This is going to make it really easy for teams like marketing and sales to stay in sync and make sure deal creation and deal processes match your company's workflows. Let's bring it all together with Playbooks. Playbooks are your way to standardize your sales processes. Whether that's a discovery call, a qualification call, or even a demo, Playbooks help you lay out what you want your sales team to cover as they're having those conversations with customers. Let me show you how. So from the CRM, you want to navigate to Library and click on Playbooks. From here, you can click Create Playbook, and this is really your chance to document some of those best practices. Let's start with a discovery call playbook right here and create this. And here we have a template for a discovery call. We can see there's some information already filled out for us, but we want to make sure this is customized to match our sales processes and that we're asking the right questions. So from here, I can click this little plus icon and add any of my content, including some of those crucial qualification questions I asked about. The nice thing here is that reps can actually access this right from the call. So no more forgetting to ask about budget, timelines, or our favorite, asking about next steps as they're having these conversations. So once I've come in and I've kind of determined that this playbook is good to go, I can finish it off. And from now on, my reps will be able to access this as they're on any of those sales calls. Here's where things can get really powerful, and that's with conversation intelligence. So what I want to do is show you how to set that up and record some of those conversations and track how your reps are actually having these conversations with customers. Let's take a look. From settings up here in the top right, we want to hit calling down here, and then we want to click on transcription analysis and setup. From here, let's click Edit Track Terms. Track terms are where HubSpot can actually listen for things that you want it to listen for in different conversations. What that means is maybe you want to hear how often are specific competitors coming up, or did my team bring up pricing at all on this call? I can add any of these terms right here. So let's see, I want to make sure everything I want to cover is added, all of these key topics. And once I am happy with that, I can go ahead and show you what this looks like in action. So if we want to click on a call from our CRM right here, I can just click over here on calling. We'll click on this demo call that we recently had. And right here on the right-hand side, you can see all the track terms that came up. You can see pricing was mentioned. You can see that they talked about one of our competitors. It's really easy for me as a manager to come in and see exactly how consistent my sales team are being on these sales calls, whether or not they're following the playbooks. Remember, we're not aiming for perfection here. What we're aiming for is consistency. Start with some of those pipeline stages we talked about, add in some of that automation, and then when your team's ready, start to work in some of those playbooks to standardize things like discovery calls or even demo calls. The goal isn't to build some sort of rigid system that feels like micromanagement. It's about creating a foundation that helps your teams not only sell better, but close more deals. I'm Alex, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.